Hi everyone, my name is Singho, and I'll be talking about translating the function from C or C++ to MIPS. I've seen some people struggling with this only because they didn't have a good enough knowledge of programming style stuff. Not that I'm saying I'm better or good at them, better than them, but just I want to share like how I do it so some people can figure some way for themselves. This is a function in C++ that takes two arguments a and b and calling another function called sub, comparing it and returning the value by it. First thing you want to do is you gotta know the convention of the register. In MIPS, we have a register called A0 to A3. Those are for the arguments from the outside of function, so you can use inside the function. So in this example, I will say A as A0 as A1 as B. Just to make sure, some people like me wanna save this value into some temporary register like T1, T0, something like that. So this part is saving the value of the arguments into temporary register so you can use it later. So you have a and b value inside a function in t0 and t1. The next one you want to do is calling another function called sub with two arguments a and b as well. Before you calling another function, you gotta save your return address that is saved in register RA. Here's how you do it. You store a word that is in register RA into the stack. So you can call it later after you use another function called sub. Um, so, well, basically, some people just like add the offset of the function stack pointer, but I just did it to make it shorter. So after you saving the return address RA into it, you calling another function with the instructions JAL. When you do it, it's gonna go to another function. While doing it, it's gonna have a returning address in in register RA as a new address. So when you go there, your RA is gonna have a instruction address here. That's why you're supposed to save the RA before you call another function into stack. So after you do it, you coming out of the sub and coming back to where you are, which is the next instruction of where you call the function. After you do that, you gotta call your RA back to the your from the stack, so you can go back to the place where you're coming from for this same function. After you do it, this program does what this program does is comparing this returning value from the sub with the 0. So after you're coming from sub, by the convention of the register v0 or v1 is gonna have a returning value from this function. So that's why you are comparing this v0 with 0, because v0 hasn't returned the number from the sub. So this is kind of tricky part here. You have two cases, either is it 0 or not. That's why you have two blocks here. Another one called 1. So if the value from sub is 0, you go to 1. You're not putting anything. So if it is 1, you're putting 1. You want to return the 1 to return to where you're coming from for this same function. So that's why you're adding 1 and adding 1 to 0 and putting the value to v0. After that, it's gonna go go ahead and getting outside function using this JRA. By the convention of this, RA has a return address where that is the address where you're supposed to go back. But the other case where you're turning 0, which the condition of the BQ is not satisfied, so you don't go to here, you go to next statement. So here you're not adding 1, you're adding 0 into the V0, so the same function is returning 0. After putting 0, you have to have this JN, so you can jump to N. You don't want to go to this N, because if you go to N1 here, you're adding 1, you're overriding 1 onto V0, which you don't want to have. So it's kind of like flowing the water, if I'm describing right. So either it is 1, it is V is 0, you go to somewhere, you're putting 1. Other case, you go to next one and jumping to where you're supposed to end this function. Well, I'm hoping people get some idea about it. I apologize if you can understand my English fair enough. I've been in the United States only for 3 years, so well, I did my best. Thank you very much.